Evening, ladies and gents, how are you doing? Today, there's a fantastic story on the homepage of the BBC. It's obviously about the most unpopular Prime Minister in recent history, announcing that he's going to put boots on the ground in the most unpopular war in recent history. But the story is hilarious because this is without doubt the most aggressively homosexual posed photograph between two elected world leaders that I've ever seen in my entire life. Are you ready for it? Europe must play a full part in Ukraine, PM says. And there is what I can only assume is self-serving French weasel Macron, who appears to be the top in this relationship, and on his right, the charmless, androgynous android, the beady-eyed little snitch himself, Keir Starmer. It's amusing that all of his supporters call everybody else a gammon as well, because look at the state of him there. He looks like a bipedal pig with NHS gegs on. And judging by that photo, he is definitely catching, not pitching. Brilliant, that, innit? Brilliant. I can't believe they signed off on that and let the BBC or anybody else publish that photograph. Even the way he's holding his hand, like Macron, on top like that, like he's his girlfriend. And the sort of smug, I mean, at least Macron's got a chin and he looks smug and pleased with himself. Starmer actually does look like 20 seconds before this photo was taken, Macron was bouncing on his dirt box. So I love that. That's a fantastic picture for a fantastic story. So I'll read you it and then obviously we'll laugh at this ludicrous attempt to have total unending war for you and a life of privilege and luxury for the authoritarian sociopaths that are ruling Europe with an iron fist. Looking at these two European leaders, it does make you understand why the rednecks and the hillbillies are somewhat scornful of the Europeans, doesn't it? Because they got that famous picture of Trump covered in blood, pumping his fist in the air looking badass, and we get that. Two gay lovers waiting for an Uber in the YMCA car park. Okay, to the story. Everyone's kids must play a full part in Ukraine, except the Prime Ministers, of course. European nations must play a full part in ensuring Ukraine's security in the event of a peace agreement with Russia, Sir Keir Starmer has said. Yeah, peace agreement. Well, you need more war when you have peace, don't you? That's like saying you need more up when you have down. What are you talking about? The Prime Minister has said Europe needs to step up its defence capabilities in the face of generational security challenge that Moscow poses. Sir Keir's remarks came ahead of his arrival in Paris for a summit of European leaders to discuss concerns over the US-Russia talks on ending the war. Can you believe that? Trumpy bears turned up and said, right, we're going to stop the war, and the European leaders, because they're all benefiting from it, they're going, whoa, we can't have less war. How many times have I said it? The left-right paradigm, it's gone. The left are the warmongers. The ones who call themselves tolerant and peaceful and progressive and liberal. The warmongers. The Guardian reads like the most jingoistic Adolf-era propaganda pamphlet these days. The Independent, the BBC, they love war because journalism is a nice middle-class profession, don't you know? So none of their kids are the ones who get scattered across the battlefield. It's easy to see what they get out of a war, isn't it? He is expected to urge his counterparts to commit troops to a peacekeeping force in a potential peace deal after writing he was ready and willing to put UK soldiers on the ground to help guarantee Ukraine's safety. Yeah, well, of course he is. Of course he is ready and willing. You know what I'm ready and willing to do? I'm ready and willing for Keir Starmer to put his cock in a mousetrap while I stand by and watch. Easy. I'm game if you are, Keir. Why wouldn't I be ready and willing for that? Oh, that's right, because there's no risk to me. Well, other than if I split my sides and die laughing, watching you howl in agony, because that's how much I hate you. We need to step up in terms of our collective response, and by that I mean capability. Playing our full part when it comes to the defence of the sovereignty of Ukraine if there's a peace agreement. And that's it. In summation, Trump's obviously been saying for years that the European nations need to step up and play a greater role in spending on defence. This has been obvious for years. You know, you can tell how it's been obvious for years because in 2016, they were all pointing and laughing at Trump whenever he said anything. And then, obviously, 9 years later, everything he said came true, and they're all wrong. And they've been wrong for 10 years. And this short-termism of our myopic, self-centred, degenerate perverts, leaders of Europe, the myopic tendencies they have towards short-term power, it's just like Cleggy. Old Nick Clegg saying there's no point in building a nuclear power plant. because they take ages, even though they'd have all been finished by 2023. It's typical of them. They do everything 10 years too late. And now, because they're piss weak, they might have to put your kids in harm's way in Ukraine because it'll benefit Sir Keir Starmer. Brilliant. I made a point about this on Twitter. At the end of the day, well, I'll read you it. It's lunacy. I think he's the least popular PM ever, about to put boots on the ground in the least popular war ever. As soon as the body bags come home, they best zip him up in one as well. And there we have it. It's a very sad day when a bootneck, an angry one at that, has got to be the voice of reason when it comes to waging war. This is what I'm saying about everything being upside down. The angry bootneck is anti-war, and Owen Jones loves it. He loves it. Laurie Penny, she loves a bit of war. All the lefty women, fat middle-class left-wing women who work for the BBC and The Guardian, they love war, and the angry bootnecks don't. Even I never saw that coming. But that's me for the day. I'd love to know your opinions on this story. Do you think Keir will be onto a winner if he puts a few thousand British boots on the ground and they promptly get turned into paste by a multi-launch rocket system? I'd love to know your thoughts, so please put them in the comments, and I'll see you all tomorrow. All right, thanks for tuning in. Toodle pip. Cheers.